One of the best ways you can advance your skills as a hypnotist or a coach using hypnosis in your practice is to really start to learn exactly what principles are instead of using the technique route and learning about techniques. And what do I mean by this? There's always this next best thing about the next technique that's going to help your clients to go deeper, right? To become more somnolent, to have a rapid induction, to just get things done. But it's very technique based. And while those are awesome techniques, and there's really nothing wrong with techniques, you sometimes will run into clients who won't respond to particular techniques or several techniques at that. So, say if you have already five techniques on your toolbox, whether that be regression, inner child, parts work, maybe the quick phobia cure, maybe swish technique pattern, NLP, say you already have those five things in your toolbox, right? And what if you have a client that doesn't respond to any of the five things? Sometimes that's possible, right? So what do you do? Then you get kind of stuck in this place where you don't know what to do. And it's not really your fault because that's how traditional hypnosis and even NLP trainings, um, that's how they run, right? That's how they were taught, or that's how you are taught. And so once you actually start learning the principles instead of techniques, this can really advance your skills because principles are what govern techniques, right? There's a reason why those five techniques are in place to begin with because of the governing principles of the mind and even neuroscience and psychology that lead to why these five techniques exist. So instead of learning five more techniques, which is going to take time anyways, why not spend that time learning techniques? And instead of learning techniques, spend that time learning the principles that can give you more than five techniques to deal with. Because once you actually know exactly what the principles of the mind um, are, and the principles are very easy to learn, they're really not that complicated. Once you actually learn the principles, then you gain access to thousands of techniques. You don't need to be placed in a box where you only have the five tools, and if they don't work, shit, you're out of luck, right? By learning principles instead, you're going to be able to set yourself up for even better success because then it'll be easier for you to troubleshoot when things don't go your way inside your sessions because you're working with principles, the limitlessness of principles instead of the rigidness of techniques. And so if you really want to advance your skill as a hypnotist or a coach, then definitely study principles instead of techniques. And this is exactly what we teach inside advanced conversational hypnosis trainings. We really focus on showing the principles right then and there, live in the moment during demo breakdowns. We focus on the practicality of how to actually spot these principles, how to actually work with the mind, what the mind actually looks like, and explaining it in that way live instead of the techniques, instead of the theory base, because theory can is important but can only get you so far. And so by learning exactly the practicality of it and learning the principles, you actually are going to be light years apart from the traditional hypnotists who are just learning technique over technique over technique, which, if you don't know why those techniques are there to begin with, it's going to be very difficult to troubleshoot when a client doesn't respond well to it. And by learning principles, you just have this knowing inside you that it's going to work because it's based on principles and not just fingers crossed that this technique work. We'll see in a month. It's not the best place to leave your clients at, right? It's better to leave your clients with you personally knowing, or like, oh shit, I know that it's gonna work. I believe that, and your clients also knowing that for sure and having that certainty. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you soon.